Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here, and we are here. It is officially 2018, and we are here for your official Monday Night Raw review. And I mean, what can I say? I laugh because this show is like threatening you to go to sleep. It really, really is. This show is god awful here tonight. Boring as hell. I mean, just not good. Just not good. I just sit here and wonder how some people can go on and find something positive to say about Monday Night Raw. It really is hard for me. Because, honestly, I cannot tell you what is good about this show. There, was nothing good on this show here tonight. Everything was either rinse and repeat, and what we want to invest ourselves in, like the Woken Matt Hardy gimmick, I want to invest myself in that. I really do. But it's rinse and repeat every single week. Roman Reigns and the Intercontinental Championship reign that he's having, defending the title almost every week. I want to invest myself in that. But when he's putting on the same goddamn matchup that he's been putting on for 5 years, where his opponent gets an 80% of the damage, and then he comes in with a Superman punch and a spear, and if we're lucky, a drive-by at the end of the matchup, and bada boom shakalaka, we can call it a night. I'm really not going to be invested in that. I'm not. And when it seems to be closer and closer to the fact that it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, with both the Intercontinental Championship and the Universal Championship on the line, I cannot help but turn away and just say, God damn, is this show terrible. It really, really is. You can tell what they're going to do at WrestleMania in that main event scene from now. You've been able to tell what they're going to do at WrestleMania in that main event scene since WrestleMania 33 came to a close, and nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. So at this point, we're going into the Royal Rumble, and you want to invest yourself in what's going on Monday Night Raw, but they just do nothing to keep you there. The opening segment will have Kurt Angle come out, and Kurt Angle will tell you what you need to know. He'll give you the big announcement. He'll give you the main event and first matchup to start off the show. There will be some type of segment there, and after that, it will just be like WWE is running through this show on autotune. It's just thing after thing after thing, and it's I don't care after I don't care after I don't care. That's what Monday Night Raw is, and at this point, that's what Monday Night Raw has become. Nothing to see on tonight's show, and we will go deeper into that as we continue on here on the Monday Night Raw review. But of course, I want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And I want to apologize because I was not able to get behind the mic up this past weekend, and that of course had to do with the holiday festivities. They just surround your entire weekend, so I wasn't able to get up behind the mic. But I will be getting up top 10 matches of the year probably tomorrow, so that's going to be up there. I haven't gotten that up yet because I've been watching the matches over and over again, and I want to make sure I have this list fine-tuned down to the T, because it probably is the biggest top 10 that everybody's talking about. Everybody's coming out with their own list of the top 10 matches of the year, and I want to make sure that mine, I don't sit there saying, crap, now I just remembered about this match, and I would have loved to have that match in there instead of this one. So we're working on that. Top 10 matches of the year, probably going to be up by tomorrow, but there was a lot of other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel this past week, including your Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews for the week. That was up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, so if you missed Raw or Smackdown last week, or you want an educated opinion on those shows, or both, make sure to go check those out. And of course, make sure to go check out the top 10 that we uploaded on Wednesday or Thursday of that week. I can't even remember. I think it was Friday of that week. But we uploaded our top 10 worst superstars of 2017. That was one that you don't want to miss. So make sure to go check that one out. Top 10 worst superstars of 2017. I'm sure you're going to want to see what that list is comprised of, because you're not going to hear me being very positive right there. So make sure to go check that one out. That's pretty much all the content that was uploaded last week. Not a lot of content up due to your holiday festivities, but this week we'll be back to normal. The Ringside Wrestling train will be running as usual going into the Royal Rumble. So make sure, guys, to subscribe for all the content on the Ringside Wrestling channel. You got your Raw reviews, got your Smackdown reviews, got your pay-per-view reviews, got your NXT TakeOver special reviews when those do occur. Behind the mic each and every single week as your weekend presentation. End of the year top 10s, as you've been seeing, have been rolling out on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Coverage of whatever WWE decides to put on the WWE Network, whatever type of tournament they decide to put. I'm debating right now whether or not to cover the WWE Mixed Match Challenge, which will be starting in 2 weeks. Make sure to leave it down in the comment section below if you would like me to cover the Mixed Match Challenge. But besides that, that's pretty much all I got for you. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to comment, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going straight into your Monday Night Raw review. And we were live here tonight on Monday Night Raw from Miami, Florida, and I believe the Airline Center. Don't come to me asking for the name of the arena, but that is besides the point. Of course, the big topics on this show were Roman Reigns, his Intercontinental title defense, Brock Lesnar on the show here tonight. They made us wait till the very last segment for that one, and Alexa Bliss going one-on-one against Asuka in a non-title match. So those were the big things going on the show here tonight. But the show started off, and we went backstage. That's how the show started off. It was Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss. She was trying to talk to General Manager Kurt Angle. She was trying to talk him out of making her compete against Asuka tonight. Angle, he refused, saying that Bliss can settle her problems with Asuka in the ring tonight. His music hits. He comes out to the stage, and he welcomes us. Angle talks about how 2017 was one of the best years of his career, and he says 2018 will be even greater. Angle talks about the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and how John Cena has announced himself for the men's Royal Rumble match. And those rumors coming out that John Cena is going to be winning the Royal Rumble and possibly going into WrestleMania against an AJ Styles to capture his 17th world title. My God, put a bullet in my head. That sounds terrible. John Cena nor Roman Reigns should be nowhere near the Royal Rumble. If there are two men you need to keep away from Royal Rumble talks, it is Roman Reigns and John Cena. Roman Reigns, alright, I get it. He's going to be fighting Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We've known that for God knows how long now. You can do that by having Roman Reigns win an Elimination Chamber match or something of that demeanor, but not the Royal Rumble. WWE would have to be insane to have Roman Reigns win another Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. You really would have to be mental, bro. And as far as John Cena, do you really want to see John Cena win his third goddamn Royal Rumble match? It is unnecessary. And on top of that, there are other things for John Cena to be doing at WrestleMania. On top of that, there are other times, there are other moments, there will be other opportunities to have John Cena win a 17th world title. And I think you guys can agree with me on that, because you can have something a lot better for AJ Styles in that WWE Championship role. I think we all know who I'm talking about, and the person who should win the Royal Rumble? Would you really rather see John Cena win the Royal Rumble over Shinsuke Nakamura? Would you really rather see AJ Styles versus John Cena, which, may I mind you, we saw, and they did the best that they could probably do earlier this year, or last year I should say at this point, at the Royal Rumble in 2017. You mean to tell me you'd rather see AJ Styles versus John Cena again than Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, than Shinsuke Nakamura defining himself as a top superstar in WWE and winning the Royal Rumble? I mean, just compare those two scenarios side by side. What would you rather see? It is clear. It is clear. There's no reason, and there's no person on this earth who I think would rather see John Cena win the Royal Rumble than what WWE could possibly do with Shinsuke Nakamura. But John Cena will be in the Royal Rumble, hopefully not winning the Royal Rumble. That would really be some out of this world, insane dog shit from WWE. It really would. Angle plugs the Women's Royal Rumble match, continuing on with the segment here, and the crowd pops. Angle says fans are wondering about the rules for that match, and after talking with Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Daniel Bryan, they decided that the women's match will be just like the men's match as far as the rules go. There will be 30 women in the match as well. Angle says he expects Raw to win both Rumble matches and go on to main event WrestleMania 34. So as far as the Women's Royal Rumble match, they finally gave us some rules for that matchup. It's only felt like an eternity of waiting for official rulings for that matchup, but they finally have, and it's going to be 30 women. I don't know where they're going to pull those 30 women from. You only got about 20 women, and that's not even pulling out the champions, I believe. You only got 20 women between Raw and SmackDown, so they're probably going to have to pull like 3 or 4 women from NXT, and then the 6 are going to be surprise entrance legends, maybe a Lita, maybe a Trish Stratus, and I've been hearing Michelle McCool, Kelly, Eve Torres. WWE has a whole list of former divas and women to pull out of their asses, bro. They really do. So as far as finding those 30 women, I'm sure WWE will have no problem. They could easily pull 10 women out of NXT if they want to. NXT is flooded with women, but I'm sure they're saving some of those slots for surprise returns. The surprise return of a Kelly, the surprise return of a Lita. You know, they want to make this historic, and they're going to give you the whole 30 women. You already, at this point, should know how I feel about this Women's Royal Rumble. I feel like this is a bunch of WWE propaganda, and it just has to do with them wanting to make history and shoving all these key words down your throat instead of focusing on what they should really be focusing on, and that is good storyline that makes sense for these women. None of this makes any goddamn sense. We see Nia Jax holding hands in the middle of the ring with Sasha Banks and Bayley, and all these women who she's been terrorizing on Monday Night Raw over all of 2017. We see Absolution weeks after destroying Absolution, moments after destroying Sasha Banks, Asuka, all these women, Bayley, Mickey, all these weeks of destruction by Absolution were shoved down the toilet because all these women were holding hands in the middle of the ring after the announcement of a Women's Royal Rumble. It is ridiculous. They throw storyline out the window in this initiative of, we're making history, it's a women's revolution. Nope, it's not a women's revolution anymore, it's a women's evolution. And they just want to throw all this forced verbiage down your throat, and it comes across as absolutely forced, overly scripted WWE corporate initiative garbage. And it really is not entertaining to me. Does not feel historic to me under the way that WWE is presenting it to us. That's my problem with the Women's Royal Rumble. But as far as the stipulations go and the match ruling go, I'm fine with it. 30 women, same thing as the Men's Royal Rumble. It would have been pathetic if they would have had it be that the women have to go over the middle rope. It doesn't have to be over the top rope, or they just have to go out of the ring. It doesn't even matter what rope they go through. That would have been absolutely pathetic. So thank God they are doing it the same as the men, because I'm sure they would have had a riot on their hands if it would have been any different. Anyways, Angle says he expects Raw to win both Rumble matches and go on to main event WrestleMania 34. As far as tonight, he has planned, and the music interrupts. Out comes the Bar. Sheamus doesn't want to talk about tonight. He wants to talk about how the Bar was robbed in last week's quote-unquote travesty. Sheamus complains about how the new team of Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan received a title shot. They enter the ring, and Cesaro accuses Angle of playing favorites. Cesaro, by the way, was finally not wearing that stupid mouth guard while he was cutting a promo. He finally took it off, and thank God for that, because he looked and sounded like an absolute fool on his promos while wearing it. So thank God that that's gone. Much better does Cesaro sound now, but he says that what happened was way too much, and we see a replay of last week's title change, and Sheamus says the clip makes him sick. He accuses Angle favoritism again, because after the match, and this was a WWE.com exclusive, Angle came out and he was smiling, and I believe he hugged Jason Jordan for winning the title, or some crap like that. Angle says that they will get their rematch when he says so, because Sheamus and Cesaro were begging and clamoring for a rematch. So they start arguing, and the music interrupts again, and out comes Jason Jordan by himself wearing the Raw Tag Team title around his waist. Jordan argues back and stands his own. More arguing leads to Angle making Jordan versus Cesaro right now. The music interrupts, and out comes Raw Tag Team Champion Seth Rollins. Rollins talks about how Jordan needs to learn to be a better partner, not to be so self-absorbed. Rollins says he will be in Jordan's corner, but a daddy's boy chant starts up. Rollins says he will be in Jordan's corner, but the only way he sees it is that he's out here to watch Jordan lose. Cesaro takes advantage of the distraction and knocks Jordan to the floor from behind. Rollins checks on Jordan and tells him to get up and get back in the ring. We go to commercial, and when we come back, it is Jason Jordan versus Cesaro. Okay match. I mean, it was further driven and probably better than any other match on the show because the crowd was hotter towards the beginning of the show. You're more tuned in than you are at hour 2 or hour 3, so you're paying more attention, and it was an alright match between Jason Jordan and Cesaro. I mean, just look at who you have in the ring. It's Jason Jordan, who was no slouch in that ring, and goddamn Cesaro, bro. So these two guys are clearly going to put on some good stuff in the ring, and Jason Jordan actually did win the matchup to Seth Rollins' per storyline surprise. So Jason Jordan finally won a matchup on Monday Night Raw. He's starting to pick up the wins. He's no longer starting to be the rookie, I guess is the storyline that they're trying to portray here. Because before, the storyline was, and it was looking like Jason Jordan was actually going to be turning heel. And that actually led to a report this weekend that Finn Balor was supposed to be the guy to team with Seth Rollins and win these titles, because it really doesn't make much sense, the storyline that you had before, where it looked like Jason Jordan was going to go heel, and now he's teaming with Seth Rollins. So, I don't know about that. But Finn Balor, I mean, it would have been a lot better for Finn Balor, but Finn Balor just seems to be just thrown under the bus over and over and over again on Monday Night Raw. This guy needs some type of rejuvenation. And what they did here tonight did not help Finn Balor's case. We will talk about that. But besides that, Jason Jordan won, and we went backstage to Renee Young, who interviewed Roman Reigns for comments on tonight's title defense. And Reigns says that Samoa Joe got what he deserved last week, as he's ruined matches and he's hurt Dean Ambrose. Reigns says Joe is not a good contender because he's a punk. Reigns says this week won't be any different. It's going to be ugly and intense. Reigns says he will stay within rules. He hopes. So there you go with that one. Roman Reigns cutting a crappy, over-scripted promo. Apollo Crews versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt won this matchup. He won this matchup despite the fact that he was distracted by Dana Brooke, who got on the apron, and he actually threatened to hit Dana Brooke and throw her off the apron, but when Bray Wyatt teased throwing her off the apron, she fell backwards onto Titus O'Neil. Bray Wyatt was laughing. Apollo Crews hit an enziguri, and it looked like he was going to hit his finisher, but Apollo Crews sucks, or at least that's how Monday Night Raw wants you to perceive Apollo Crews, who's actually really goddamn talented, but on Monday Night Raw, Apollo Crews sucks. So Bray Wyatt was still, despite the distraction and despite being hit by an enziguri, he was still able to hit Sister Abigail. Bada boom shakalaka, 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt picks up the win over the bona fide jobber, Apollo Crews. And what happens afterwards? Does Matt Hardy come out and attack Bray Wyatt again like they did last week? No, he cuts another one of these generic Woken promos with that blue curtain. It's a nice curtain, bro, but we don't want to see you in front of that curtain anymore. We want to see you at the Hardy compound. We want to see you doing something fresh. We want to see you doing something cool. WWE is doing none of that with the Woken character, at least not as of yet. I mean, it's been the same thing for 4 weeks. Last week we saw something a little bit different, but it was not too much of anything. It was just Matt Hardy coming out and just pretty much attacking Bray Wyatt and then laughing. That's what we saw again here tonight. He cut a small promo saying that he's waiting for Sister Abigail and her darkness to fade away so he can come out and fight Bray Wyatt, but in the end he just ended up laughing, and then the screen started to duplicate, and it was 4 Matt Hardys, then 8 Matt Hardys, then 16 Matt Hardys, then 32 Matt Hardys, then 64 Matt Hardys on the screen, and I mean, it just, that was it. That was it. And it really was more of the same. More of the same. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's nice to see Matt Hardy with the Woken character, but the novelty is soon gonna start to wear off, and we're gonna want to see something new. We're gonna want to see the creative aspects of this character, and WWE does not seem to be putting all their fluid creative juices into this character. And if there is something that the Woken Matt Hardy character and the broken Matt Hardy character survived on when it was outside of the WWE, it was on the creativity. That's what made this character special. It was creative. It was different. Right now, it feels like everything else on Monday Night Raw. It's cool for 1 week. It's new for 1 week. And then we just see rinse and repeat all these weeks following. And it's really not the way this needs to be. It's so easy. It is so easy to do something different. Why not have Matt Hardy introduce his Woken Warriors? Why not have him introduce Queen Rebecca? Why not have him introduce King Maxwell? Why not have him introduce Senior Benjamin? Why can't we see 1 week where Vanguard 1 is exploring and touring the Wyatt compound, or wherever the hell it is, the Wyatt household, warehouse, wherever the hell it was? Why not have that part of the character come out? Because doing the same thing every week, and yeah, the laughing was funny, the laughing was a cool meme for 1 week, but it seems WWE said, oh, they like the laughing, so let's just keep doing that. And it's become ridiculous, and it's boring at this point, and every time I see him laugh, at this point, I'm hoping that he doesn't laugh. I want to see some type of seriousness come out. It's ridiculous. It really, really is. And yes, the character's supposed to have some type of ridiculousness to it, but it's supposed to feel fresh. It's supposed to feel new. It's supposed to feel unorthodox. It doesn't feel that way. It feels Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw is not a good feeling to have in 2018. It's really, really not. For now, we move on here, and what do we move on here to? We move on to Nia Jax, and Nia Jax has some chicken noodle soup. Whatever she had in that container did not look like chicken noodle soup, but that's besides the point. She leaves the arena to go tend to WWE Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore, and Alexa Bliss stops her and talks about facing Asuka tonight. Nia says Enzo needs her, but Bliss says it's either her or Enzo. Nia says she has to leave because the soup is getting cold. This is what we get on Monday Night Raw in 2018. Nia Jax going to give Enzo some chicken noodle soup. Great storytelling, WWE. Did I say great? I'm sorry. That's an understatement. Fantastic storytelling, right? My lord. We go to Alexa Bliss versus Asuka, and clearly Asuka won this match, which was just Alexa trying to run away the whole match until she found some way to fight back and take control until Asuka hit her series of comeback moves to win. This probably locks Asuka in to a championship match with Alexa Bliss at the Royal Rumble, which probably means that she doesn't have to go into the Royal Rumble and win it, because that's the only way that you were going to do it. So if it is Alexa Bliss versus Asuka in a women's championship match at the Royal Rumble, Asuka will win the championship there, meaning she doesn't need to be in the Royal Rumble, and that can open it up for a Paige to win it. Or that will open it up for somebody maybe even on Smackdown Live to win it. Maybe even a Becky Lynch. Maybe now you can have Ronda Rousey come in and win the Royal Rumble and challenge Charlotte on SmackDown Live for the SmackDown Women's Championship going into WrestleMania. If that is the direction you want to go, maybe that's the way WWE is going to go about it. Maybe they have Asuka win it earlier in the night, and she doesn't even need to be in the Royal Rumble, which opens it up for different types of winners. Because if Asuka is in the Women's Royal Rumble and she gets eliminated, I know myself and a lot of other people would count that as Asuka's first loss, no doubt about it. So WWE wouldn't be able to beat Asuka in that scenario. So maybe eliminating her from the matchup to begin with is the right way to go. Not having Asuka there is the right way to go. I don't know. I don't know how WWE wants to go about that, but that's certainly the way I would go about it. It would create more unpredictability for that matchup, if you ask me. It would make it so there are multiple winners as a possibility. So I don't know how WWE wants to go about it, but keeping Asuka out of the match by having her be and become Raw Women's Champion would definitely be the best scenario, if you ask me. The announcers lead us to a video package on tonight's Intercontinental title match, and Renee Young is backstage with Samoa Joe. Probably the best segment of the night. If there is one fantastic thing about Monday Night Raw, it is Samoa Joe. Joe talks about how he owns Reigns and how the Shields will never be champions together. Joe says Dean Ambrose is now a stay-at-home husband living off his wife's paycheck, and I wonder who's interviewing Samoa Joe. Well, none other than Renee Young, and she kind of winced at that comment. She kind of said, all right, Joe, calm down there at that comment, while all of us collectively laughed in our homes because Samoa Joe is absolutely fantastic. Renee doesn't look happy. Joe gets fired up and says, when he puts Reigns to sleep tonight and takes the title, Reigns will understand that it may be his yard, but he lives in Joe's world. Joe walks off and Renee stares at him. We go to Braun Strowman versus Rhino, and this was a great one. It really was, but Braun, he keeps control, and he was in control of Rhino this entire match, but Slater, he kept getting on the apron to cheer Rhino on and offer advice. So Braun left the ring, took the microphone, and he called Slater a cheerleader and says he has two options: stay on the floor and shut up, or get in the ring and take these hands like his partner. So Slater and Rhino, they tried to double team Strowman, but they still got demolished, being hit by multiple power slams. And bro, is Braun Strowman over, bro? Each and every single time that he hit a power slam, huge pop. One more time, this guy is over. And that's why a lot of people petitioned for a Braun Strowman or a Samoa Joe to take the title off of Brock Lesnar back in the summer. And it would have made a lot more sense, and Monday Night Raw probably would have been a lot better off with a reigning, defending Universal Champion on their goddamn show. Instead, because there was no Universal Champion, because WWE made mistakes like that, for a lot of 2017, they didn't have a main event scene. They really did not. They really did not. From WrestleMania to Great Balls of Fire, so that's from April to July, there was no champion on Raw. That's 3 entire months. From No Mercy to Survivor Series, so that's from September to November. That's the entire month of October right there. So that's 4 months without no main title to fight for on Monday Night Raw. Then it's from the Royal Rumble to the Survivor Series, which the Survivor Series is over in November. That's the entire month of December, and the entire month, since the Royal Rumble is at the end of January, that's the entire month of December and January. So that's 2 months without no Universal Champion on your brand, fighting and defending that title and making a main event scene. So in total, that's like 6 months in the past year that you have not had a champion fighting and defending his title on your show. Imagine how much better Raw could have been if you would have actually had a main event scene, if you would have actually had a defined mid-card scene. A Roman Reigns wouldn't have to be holding your Intercontinental Championship, because he would be able to be fighting for the Universal Championship against the Braun Strowman, against the Samoa Joe. So you just put yourself in a goddamn hole. The entirety of 2017 for no goddamn reason. It was ridiculous. And seeing that there were guys in position to take those titles, like a Braun Strowman, who got a huge ovation here tonight from just power slamming guys in the middle of the ring, and then Samoa Joe, who in the segment before cut a mean goddamn promo. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and I don't think anybody can deny me of that. It is ridiculous. So there you go with that one. We move on here to a backstage segment. I believe, there were a series of backstage segments. After Strowman versus Rhino, we saw Roman Reigns backstage getting ready. Seth Rollins walks in, bringing up Joe's comments from earlier. Reigns isn't worried about Joe and says, "There's one thing you don't do in this world, mess with their brother." Rollins just doesn't want to see Reigns getting disqualified tonight so they can continue being champions together. Jason Jordan walks in and acknowledges their recent issues, but promises to take out the bar if they try to interfere tonight. Jordan tosses a "believe that" at Reigns before walking off, leaving Reigns and Rollins with confused looks on their faces. We go backstage and Kane approaches Braun Strowman. Kane wants to talk about Brock Lesnar, who he's never faced, but Braun has. Kane says they are the alpha monsters of WWE, and together they can tame the beast. Kane says he has a plan, and all it takes is being on the same page. Braun doesn't care about Kane or his plan, as he's the only alpha monster around here. Braun says he's going to take down Brock on his own terms. They stare each other down, and Kane leaves. Kurt Angle is backstage on the phone talking to someone about the Women's Royal Rumble match when Finn Balor walks up. Balor talks about the WWE Universal title and wanting to get it back. Balor announces himself for the Royal Rumble match. Angle asks Balor if he's found partners for tonight's six-man tag match, which went completely unannounced until this segment. And it was against The Miz, Taraj, and Elias. And Finn Balor has found his partners, and they were Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So clearly, what do Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Finn Balor make? They make a Bullet Club. Angle asks if Balor is serious. Balor says he stood with these guys before, and it's much better having them on your side than not on your side. So it sounds like fans in the arena were doing a too sweet chant, and the club does a nerds shout out before walking out. So there you go with that one. The Bullet Club, how do they reunite in the WWE? Maybe you can have them appear and take out everybody on Monday Night Raw mysteriously. Who's been taking out everybody on Raw? Maybe we can go to a backstage segment that has Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns all laid out in a heap, separate backstage segments, and everybody's wondering who are these mysterious attackers. And by the end of the night, we see Finn Balor, Gallows, and Anderson emerge and declare themselves the Bullet Club, the biggest threat in the WWE. Maybe they terrorize WWE and win titles, win championships for the next couple months, which forces the Shield to reunite in a huge storyline. Nah, none of that. In a random backstage segment, they just come out behind Finn Balor, and Finn Balor has a big smile on his face, and they call Kurt Angle a nerd or some crap like that, right? That's how you reunite the Bullet Club in WWE. That is huge. My God, these people need to grow themselves a brain. That is something that you could have done so easily and that could have made you a lot of money. And how do you choose to handle it? You don't. Ridiculous. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. This match was long and boring. A typical Roman Reigns Intercontinental Championship match. And with Reigns letting Joe get 80% of the offense until the end, where he hits 3 Superman punches, maybe a drive-by, and a spear, and that's it. So, in case you haven't noticed, this match was hot garbage here tonight. The stipulation was that even if Reigns gets DQ'd, he loses the championship, so they gave us a couple of close calls, like when Joe was about to hit a Uranagi, but he shoved Reigns into the referee in search of a DQ win. But, of course, Roman Reigns still hit the spear and retained the Intercontinental title. All this match told me is that, first of all, Roman Reigns can't put on a good match for his life, because you seen it here, bro. He was in the ring with Samoa Joe, and we seen the same thing we've been seeing for the past 6 weeks with this guy as Intercontinental Champion. Same old match that he put on with Cesaro, that he put on with Elias, that he put on with Samoa Joe last week, that he put on with The Miz. It's the same matchup each and every single week, and the well has run dry. It is boring. It is methodical. It is generic. Mix it up in there, Reigns. My God. Another thing that this match tells me is that Roman Reigns will be challenging Brock Lesnar at the WrestleMania 34 pay-per-view in April, and it will be both the Intercontinental Championship and the Universal Championship on the line, because at this point, if Samoa Joe was not able to take the championship off of Roman Reigns' hands, I mean, who is going to be able to? Who are you legitimately going to convince me will be able to take the title off of Joe's hands? Reigns beat Joe clean here tonight. There's no way that you can now feasibly put Samoa Joe in the position where he has a say for that Intercontinental title. That's it. You did it. You should have saved the match for the Royal Rumble, but no, you didn't. You did the match. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now Roman Reigns has no challenger for the Intercontinental Championship, and where you could have had it be, where you had an easy out, because here tonight, you know you don't want to pin Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania, so you had that if Roman Reigns loses by DQ, he loses the title. You could have easily done it so Samoa Joe wins the title by getting Roman Reigns disqualified, and we have a rematch at the Royal Rumble where Samoa Joe somehow finds his way out. That's it. Roman Reigns is no longer Intercontinental Champion. See you bye. He can go into the Elimination Chamber. He can win it, and we're on the road to Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. But now, what you mean to tell me from after watching this match is that we have to remain hostage, or the Intercontinental title, and for that sake, the Universal title, have to remain hostage going into WrestleMania, because what this does is it eliminates an Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania, because the Intercontinental Championship match is going to be in this bubble of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. It is pathetic, and it is unnecessary. And for that matter, it makes no goddamn sense. You could have easily had Samoa Joe win the title here tonight, and you missed the opportunity, and now we, the viewer, have to suffer because of that. My God, bro. My God. We move on here, and what else happened on this show, bro? You had your six-man tag with the Club, the Miztourage, and Elias. And what can I even say about that matchup? That matchup was a heaping pile of garbage, and Gallows and Anderson won the matchup alongside Finn Balor. Besides that, you had Goldust come out, and aid Cedric Alexander against, I believe, Arya Daivari, and who else? Drew Gulak? That's what happened in the Cruiserweight division? My God. So Goldust was on Raw here tonight. So there was that. And besides that, it was Brock Lesnar. Coming out, and he and Paul Heyman came out, and Paul Heyman, like always, cut a beastly promo saying that it seems that the goal is to continue to stack the deck against the reigning, defending Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. He asked how many times Lesnar will have to go against challengers, and not challengers. He says that Lesnar has to defend against Braun Strowman and Kane, which means if Strowman beats Kane, Lesnar loses the championship, or vice versa. Not Lesnar gets pinned, not Lesnar gets beaten, because Brock Lesnar does not get beaten, bro. He says that the reality is that Lesnar fears no challenger, or for that sake, challengers. Heyman goes as far as to say that you can line up any amount of superstars, you can line up all the 30 men going into the Royal Rumble match, but one by one, Lesnar will prevail. He says that he doubts that Kane is the devil's favorite demon because Brock Lesnar has had a one-on-one encounter with the devil, and the reigning, defending Universal Champion, the Beast Incarnate, is the devil's favorite. That's when Kane comes out, chokeslams Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar, like an absolute badass, sits up, starts laughing. Kane comes back in. Lesnar clotheslines him outside of the ring. That brings out the rest of the Monday Night Raw roster for a pull-apart brawl to end Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Everybody is excited for the Royal Rumble. Not I, bro. This is going to be dreadful. It really, really is. Like I said, what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble is that Brock Lesnar will be put through a table in the first 3 minutes of the matchup. Oh my God, Brock Lesnar's out. That only leaves Braun Strowman and Kane. We're going to see a 10-minute affair between Braun Strowman and Kane, where these two guys are going at a snail's pace. So pretty much what we seen on Monday Night Raw the other week. And Brock Lesnar, in the last 2 minutes of the matchup, is going to suddenly reoccur. Brock Lesnar's back in the matchup. The Beast Incarnate proves how much of a beast he truly is. He gets rid of Braun Strowman, comes in, F5's Kane, bada boom shakalaka, 1, 2, 3. The matchup is over. Everybody's underwhelmed. Brock Lesnar, once again, barely lifted a finger, as expected. So there you go with that one. There you go with that one. Really, nothing to look forward to as far as that goes. Hopefully, I'm just waiting, bro. I'm just waiting for the WrestleMania season to kick off, because what WWE is doing right now is absolutely pathetic. Raw was terrible here tonight. It really was. No excuses about that. Everything seems to be rinse and repeat garbage, and I am absolutely tired of it. This show gets a rating of, well, you get 1 point for Samoa Joe, you get 1 point for Braun Strowman, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I can tell you was good here tonight. So Raw gets a 2 out of 10. Matter of fact, the crowd lifts it up a 0.5. 2.5 out of 10 for Monday Night Raw here tonight. This show was boring. It was mediocre. It was rinse and repeat. Everything that we've seen last week, and maybe even a little bit worse. So there you go with that one. Raw was terrible here tonight, and that's all I can say about that. For now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to go check out all the other content. Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, behind the mic each and every single week. All that good stuff as it comes. We cover everything having to do with the WWE. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to comment what you thought about Monday Night Raw here tonight, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow for your top 10 matches of 2017.